Journalists like to talk about, they call it news judgment, and it's the faculty that they describe and that they use in deciding what about now is the most interesting and relevant that we're going to publish. And so they have 6 or 7 or 8 different factors that they all go into deciding. They all go into informing your news judgment. I'm using the language used by journalists, and I don't necessarily agree with it. In fact, oftentimes I don't. But so when they're trying to decide what is relevant, what we're going to run, what about now is most interesting and relevant to readers, they consider things like impact, which of course you can define a million ways, relevance, novelty, proximity. So a volcano that erupts 50 miles from where we are is going to be more relevant to us than a volcano that erupts in Malaysia. Proximity is huge. Something along the lines of celebrity, but so not, and they don't have to be celebrities, but people in positions of power. It can be the mayor of Catskill, New York. Someone who has some prominence will be considered more newsworthy than if it was just an ordinary person. But so there are these factors that editors consider in deciding what to run on the front page, what to run as the lead in the television news. Those are the factors, and that's how they decide, through using these set of factors, their news judgment. Which is why, it's amazing how uniform mainstream news is. Newspapers will all have the same item as their lead story. The cable news and network news will all have the same story as their lead story. It's because we all use the same set of factors to judge. I don't know if that's good or not. On one level, there's debate going on every single day in newsrooms about what should run and what shouldn't run every day. And journalists like to think of themselves as always questioning everything, including their own judgment. But in reality, if you step back, you do see a uniformity of thought across mainstream media. And so, I don't know, viewers and readers have to decide that for themselves. It's hard to come up with a good answer because newsrooms are always full of argument. Always. But look at the final result. The final result seems very, very much the same and uniform. A typical argument in a newsroom at the LA Times, for example, would be, should we run this gang shooting as the lead front banner story, or should we run something on climate change? Some announcement that scientists made about climate. Well, you'll have part of the newsroom arguing for one and the other part arguing for the other. Some high-up editor will decide, well, let's go with this. And it's always surprising how so many editors choose the same story.